In this video, I'm going to show you how I make a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Rice Krispie cake topper. Hi, it's Karolyn. In this video, I'm going to show you how I make this adorable little Mickey Mouse Clubhouse cake topper. I actually made the cake last week and I forgot to film the video introduction and ending, so I'm doing that now. But I was originally going to just show you how I cover a round object in fondant, and I do that in this video, but I just decided to film myself doing the whole shebang, if you will. Shebang. Who says shebang? Anyway, if you want to see how I make this Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Rice Krispie cake topper, then just keep on watching. What I need, I made Rice Krispie treats, 12-ounce bag of marshmallows, and I just put it in a glass bowl, melt it for like a minute 45, stir it, and then I just add some Rice Krispies until it gets to a moldable consistency, okay? So you want to have the good Rice Krispie to marshmallow ratio, if you will. And what I do, I have some Crisco, and I have this sports ball pan from Wilton. And I take a paper towel and I grease the bowl with the Crisco. And then when I take the Rice Krispies out of the bowl, I put them in here until I can press it down and get this shape. So while they're still hot, I pressed it down in here. That's why I like to use this little stand here. So I can press it down and then I push on one side to lift it up. Just put it on a cutting board and kind of just make sure I'm shaping it with my hands to make sure that it has a good shape to it. This is going to go on top of the 6-inch round cake, so you want to make sure that this is going to fit on your top tier. So take a cake pan, if you're using a 5-inch cake, set it on top of a 5-inch cake pan, make sure it's going to fit. For the head, I do the same thing, except I put it in this half ball pan. I'm not using as much Rice Krispie cereal because the head is smaller than the body. So I want it to be proportionate. So I took some Rice Krispies and I put it in here and I started pressing them down. Take my hand and I just start to roll it around until it gets into a ball shape. That's why I like this little pan, because it really helps me get these shapes with the Rice Krispies. And then when you get it into a ball form, you can kind of just start to shape it. Like sometimes parts stick out so it doesn't look as symmetrical, and just really compress it and make sure that it's pushed together. And I'm going to set these aside for a couple hours so it can dry and become hard, so I can shape it and then cover it with fondant. Okay, now that this has dried overnight, I'm just going to take this microplane here over the sink because it gets a little messy, and I'm just going to shave off all of the bumps so I have a smooth surface to cover with the fondant. And do the same for the bottom piece. I just take my hand and just wipe it over it just to remove any crumbs that have formed from shaving all the bumps off. So now we're going to cover this bottom red part. So I have the bottom piece here and I have some red marshmallow fondant. This is my homemade marshmallow fondant. I can link the video to show you how I make this. And as always, I always mix a little bit of tylose powder in with my fondant. A little bit goes a long way, maybe a half teaspoon. It helps the fondant to hold its shape, and it stiffens up a little more like gum paste rather than being so pliable. I have a little cornstarch here and a little bit of Crisco for my hands, and just start to knead this together. I pop this in the microwave for about 15 seconds to warm it up so it's pliable. And roll this out big enough so it would wrap around this. Here's a little tip. If you ever get bubbles when you're rolling out your fondant, instead of poking them from the top, which creates a hole, I usually take this needle tool and just stick it underneath. If you start to poke the needle up through the fondant, you can see where it is, and just poke it right through the hole, and then press it down, and you barely see a hole that it creates. So I always pop my holes from underneath. Now what I'm gonna do is cover this with some buttercream icing. I found the best way to do that is with your hands. So I have some buttercream icing here. I just took out of a container that I have, and I'm going to wipe it on the Rice Krispies. Just on the top part because I'm not covering the bottom. You don't want a very thick coat of this because the icing, if I cover this with fondant, the icing will smush under the fondant. So you want to make sure you get it coated, but it's a very thin coat just so the fondant will stick to it. And then I'm going to turn on the water and just try to get rid of the excess icing on my hands and smooth this out. So as you could see in that video, I basically ran my hand under the hot water and then just took it and smoothed it over so I can get a nice smooth finish. Turntable and a cutting board. And I'm gonna put this on top to make it easier to work with as I cover it with the fondant. Taking the fondant, placing it over, pulling it out and smoothing it down the sides to make sure that there's no lumps. I'm taking the pizza cutter and cutting this. So, since this fondant is still pliable, you don't really want to touch it. You don't want to put your fingers in it. That's why I like to put this on a big cutting board so I can set this aside and let the fondant stiffen. So now I'm going to get the Mickey head and show you how I cover that. So covering a round object like this can be a little tricky, but here's my little method of what I do. So same thing, I have some black fondant here. I just put it in the microwave for 15 seconds to soften it up. Take some Crisco, rub it on the countertop and my hands. Start to knead it. I'm gonna do the same thing and cover this part with buttercream icing and smooth it with my hands in hot water like I did the other piece. Now roll out the black fondant. I rolled it out to about 1/4 inch thick. So here's the tricky part, and I hope this makes sense. I'm going to cover this. Start covering it like I did with the bottom piece. Except this time it's going to be trickier to get all of the fondant to not bunch around. So you have to pull it out and smooth it down. And then eventually trying to get out all the bumps, all the folds. You're gonna have some folds. I'm gonna pick it up and start to bunch the fondant underneath. This is gonna look really ugly right now. We're gonna make it look better. There's a lot of extra fondant here. Take the scissors, cut it off. So now I'm stuck with this, and I'm going to keep basically smoothing this down and squeezing here, and I'm kind of like keep bringing all of the fondant to this point here. So I'm trying to smooth out any wrinkles. I understand that this might be a weird way, but I do what works for me. And then just keep cutting off the excess fondant and keep smoothing it down. So I'm pinching it all towards the center. I'm smoothing the fondant with my fingers and lifting it up to the center piece. And as the center piece grows, I'm going to keep cutting the fondant off. Making sure you don't cut down too far because there's going to be a hole down here and you're going to cut into the Rice Krispies. So you always want to cut above where the fondant touches the rice cereal. So keep smoothing it out. See right here created a little hole. That's what you don't want. Although this part is going to be on the bottom. But you just want to try to smooth out any wrinkles the best that you can as you are doing this process. So I'm still pushing it towards the bottom. Well, this is the top now because I'm holding it this way, but it'll be sitting on the cake this way. So I'm trying to squeeze all of this together. And then take your scissors, cut a little more off. Keep repeating the process. Trying not to make it too thin. You don't want any holes forming in the fondant because you'll see the rice cereal underneath. So I'm being very gentle with my pressure. Cutting a little more off. Okay. So this is what I have. I still have a little lump on the bottom. The head sits on a piece of fondant. That's going to be the neck. So it doesn't have to be perfect at the bottom because there's going to be a round fondant disc that this sits on top of. But you still want to smooth this out a little bit. So what I do is take the ball. There's a little cornstarch on this countertop. And I'm just going to kind of roll it around and smooth out that bottom part. Now, I haven't found a perfect way. There's always still a little bit of some wrinkles in the bottom. If I'm doing this where this part is going to be exposed, I do try to get all the wrinkles out. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes making cakes is all about hiding any flaws the best way that you can to make it look perfect, right? Or you could take a piece of fondant. I like press it into some cornstarch, rub that off on my hands, and then just rub it around to get rid of any lumps or bumps that are in the fondant to make it all smooth and pretty. Here is your ball covered in fondant. It's not beautiful down here. However, I will show you the next part what this is going to be sitting on. So we're not going to see that at all. So set that aside. Make sure that you put that part facing the bottom part down. And then if you can see, the neck is kind of a thick circle of fondant. So I'm going to roll out my fondant pretty thick, probably about 1 inch thick, and cut a circle out. I have my Atico circle cutter set here, and what I'm going to do is just figure out which circle would be the best size for the neck. It's always better to start bigger and go smaller if you need to. I think this one looks good. I can't really tell you which one to use. You kind of have to eyeball it and figure it out. Smoothing out any jagged edges that happen from using the cutter. So just testing this out for size. If I put this on here, place that on top, I think that looks pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is try to find the best angle of this. So I get down eye level, and I kind of spin it around and see like where, if I look at it, it looks the most symmetrical side to side, and you can't see any wrinkles or weird lumps or anything like that. That will be the very front. Take this head, place it on the neck, and that way it's going to kind of start to set into that shape. So the head is sitting in the neck. I don't want this to dry before I put the head on because it'll be flat. I like to have the neck or the head sit inside of the neck a little bit, if that makes any sense. So set this aside for about 2 hours to let all the fondant start to really stiffen, and then we will continue. In the meantime, we're going to make the ears. So I'm going to roll out the fondant again, probably a 1/2 to a 3/4 inch thick. I want to make sure that the ears are big enough in relation to the head. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to use this circle and cut 2 circles out of this fondant. Smooth down any jagged edges. Take the biggest circle in here, and I'm just going to cut a little bit off the bottom of each of them. And that way the ears will be able to sit on the head. So set everything aside to dry for about 2 hours, and then we will proceed. So I want to transfer, that's what I want to do. I want to transfer this on here. I found the best way to do this is with a needle tool and just prick through the letter into the fondant to give you the outline of what you need, what you're going to write. So I want to make sure I'm writing this in the very front, and make sure that you put this on even. And you want to hold it perfectly still and prick holes through the paper into the fondant, tracing the letters. Take that off. Not sure if you could see here, but TWO. Now I know where I can trace this with the buttercream. So I have these little skewers here I'm going to stick in the cake. And they're going to stick up out the top. Then I'm going to put this bottom piece on. And make sure that the prettiest part is facing forward. And you want to make sure that it's center as you're pushing it down. Then I'm going to take a little piping gel and a paintbrush. Then I'll take 2 more skewers right next to each other, press them down into the Rice Krispie treats. And then making sure this 2 that I just transferred on here is in the facing forward, and gently slide the head down the skewers. Now taking the ears and making sure that they are even. Now I want to write with buttercream the word 2 at the top. So I need something to rest my elbow on, so I'm just going to use this container that I keep my fondant in. If I tried to do it without resting my elbow, my hand would shake. I have a icing bag filled with white icing and tip number 3. And I'm just going to trace the letters here. Now I'm going to make the windows here. So I need to roll out some light blue fondant, making sure they're even and centered. Then I have an icing bag filled with piping gel that I colored black with a number 1 tip. I'm going to freehand these lines on here. And there is your Mickey Clubhouse Rice Krispie cake topper. So there you go. There's my process of making that Mickey Mouse Clubhouse cake topper. You want to make sure that when you do this, you do it a couple days in advance so you can make the Rice Krispies and then let them harden, and then shape them and cover them and then let that harden and then decorate it. So you want to make it a couple days in advance. So I really can't think of anything else to say, which I always think of something else to say after I upload the video, but anyway. That's why I always say, if you have any questions, leave them below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And just like always, please like this video if you liked it and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. And you can follow me. I'm trying to think of like what I say. You can follow me on social media. I am on Facebook and Instagram, and I have my website. I will link all of that below.